All right, for these questions, we have to decide when it's positive, negative, increasing, or decreasing. So the positive or negative part, we're going to look at the x-axis. So everything above the x-axis is positive. Everything below the x-axis is negative. So everything that's positive is positive everywhere except right here where it touches 0. So the graph is positive everywhere except that little point right there, which is when x is at 0. So it's positive when x is less than 0, and it's positive when x is greater than 0. It is never negative. Okay, for increasing and decreasing, we look at the slope. So this is decreasing because it's going a negative slope. This is increasing. It turns around here at this point. So for increasing and decreasing, it's increasing from here and to the right. So this is when x is 0. So when x is greater than 0. And it's decreasing from here and to the left. So that's when x is less than 0. In behavior, you want to look at the ends of the graph and talk about which direction they're pointing. So this graph is pointing up and it's pointing right. This side of the graph is up and left. So when we talk about our end behavior, we're going to say y goes to, and you pick which side you want to talk about first. If I want to talk about this side, up. So if I want to say up, up is positive infinity. As x goes left, left is negative infinity. And now the other side of the graph, y goes up as x goes right. Alright, next one. Positive and negative. This is the line we look at. Everything above is positive, everything below it is negative. This graph's always positive, so we're going to say always, and it's never negative. Increasing and decreasing. This side's decreasing, it turns around right here, and this side's increasing. So right here, this is an x value of 2. So it's increasing to the right of 2, so when everything's greater than 2. It's decreasing to the left of 2. Everything's less than 2. Our end behavior, this side is up and left. This is up and right. So it's going to be exactly the same. I'm not going to rewrite it. It's the same. Okay, we're going to graph. So on this side, we want to think about our original function looks like this. The vertex is at 0. This is telling me move my graph up 6. So instead of being at 0, 0, my graph's going to start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And my graph's going to have the same shape. So it's going to be a V shape up there. Every single time you have absolute value, your domain's all reals, because it points left and it points right. That's all reals. Your range is going to change based on your vertex. This graph points up. So this graph goes from 6 and up. So everything from 6 and bigger than 6. So my range is going to be y is greater than or equal to 6. Right? Inside here, this means move right 4. Okay, so instead of being at 0, 0, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is where my vertex is going to be. And then I make my V shape. It's always all reals for the domain for any absolute value. And then for your range, you got to look at the bottom, or where the vertex is. So my y value here is 0, and 0 up. So everything greater than or equal to 0. This on the outside means it's a stretch by 4. So that means my slope changed. My vertex is still at 0, 0 because it didn't go left, right, up, or down. But instead of my slope being 1, my slope's now 4. So up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Up 4 over 1. So my domain is still all reals. My range, I look at the bottom, and it goes from here up. What is the y value here? The y is 0, so everything bigger than 0. Okay, the last one. The negative reflects over x-axis. The 1/4 is a shrink. So that's a change in our slope. So when we go to graph this, we didn't go left, right, up, or down. So we're still here at 0, 0. We reflect. This is our slope. Our slope is down 1 over 4. Down 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to look like this. Because you got to get that V shape, it's symmetric. My domain is still all reals. Now this is where the range is a little different. Before, in the other three, it was from the bottom of the graph and up. Now it's going to be from the top of the graph and down. So everything under this. So everything under this point has a y of 0. So everything under 0 is y is less than or equal to 0. Alright, then the last two. Horizontal translation, 9 units right. So we're starting with our original function. So our original function, 9 units right. To go right, I put a minus sign on the inside. Okay, vertical shrink by a factor of 1/6. So on the inside, I'm going to put a 1/6 with the x. Nope, I lied. We're not going to do that. It's going to look like that. Okay, a vertical shrink is 1/6 on the outside.